Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. Please, will you give me just a thumbs up in the chat to let me know you can hear and see me all okay? If you do that, that'd be great. Yeah, perfect. Good. Welcome to the Target Jobs webinar presented by BAE Systems. So now I'm going to hand over to the BAE Systems team who will take you through their graduate program, application hints, tips, and their past graduates are then going to share their experiences. So for now, I'll hand over to Helen, who's the Head of Graduates and Education Services, to kick things off.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Helen Wharton. I head up our graduate and education services programmes across the UK and just ensure that when we're delivering our programmes across the UK, they are delivered consistently. So that's my role, and I'm very proud to work for BAE Systems. Prior to joining BAE Systems, I worked as a careers advisor and in education for over 30 years. And I think one of the most important things I took away from that was that we need to absolutely provide information at the right time and at the right level in order for people to make informed decisions. And that's what we want to help you with today, because certainly any decisions you make have to be right for you. We're all individuals. We'll all, want different things from an organisation that we work for. And what we want to do today through the presentation and through conversations with some of our existing graduates is really start to bring to life the programme and what it means to work at BAE Systems. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. I think perhaps just to start, just a little bit about who we are as an organisation, because we kind of protect lives and protect livelihoods. We work on some of the most complex and amazing products in the whole world. And we're absolutely committed to developing a workforce of incredible talent. And that's why, we get involved in sessions like this to really bring to life what it means to work for us as an organisation. We challenge ourselves every single day to make sure that we are striving for a workforce that's inclusive, that's diverse, that brings that diversity of thought, and that really kind of inspires people to be the best version of themselves at work. And we're very proud of that very inclusive culture that we're very much trying to develop and nurture as an organisation. We have a workforce of over 90,000 people and work in over 40 countries across the world. And that really does place us at the very heart of some of the most complex and exciting projects in the world. And our graduates and our undergraduates actually get to work on those directly. If we move on to the next slide, please. I think it's really important that, whilst you will have the opportunity to work on some of those amazing products and just kind of looking at the slides there in terms of the opportunities that we have, what you also get the opportunity to do is to work alongside some incredibly talented individuals. So because we're working on such complicated and complex products, that the people that work in our organisation are really keen to impart that knowledge to our graduates and our undergraduates. And that's one of the exciting things that our programme does, because it puts you really at the heart of some of these technologies and applications and really encourages you to work within them. I think the important thing that I want to say as well is it's not just what we do, but it's how we do it. And we're really sort of committed as an organisation to things like sustainability, net zero, working to those kind of highest ethical standards. And, the projects that we work on are really starting to make a difference. And that's something that we're very proud of as well. If we move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. I think what I just want to do is, just not take my word for it. I work for the organisation, and as I said, I'm proud of what we do here at BAE Systems. But it's also really important that we are recognised externally, and that people see us for what we do and recognise the investment that we make in learning and development, the investment we make in ensuring that our graduates can really add value in our business. And some of the kind of figures that you can see on the screen there, we're the Times Top 100 UK graduate employer, #1 in Universum's 2021 UK most attractive employer for engineering professionals, which we know how important STEM related subjects are. So again, very proud of those. I think we're also, at the heart of the technological change that's going on in the world. You as graduates and undergraduates will experience working life that is moving. It's agile, it's fast paced, aerospace, access to some of the most amazing technology in the world. You're having to embrace all of that technological change. And so we're really sort of growing in that area of cybersecurity and some of those kind of markets that are fast growing in the industry. We work across the US, UK, Saudi, Australia, and again, opportunities that once you've completed your graduate programme, the opportunities are endless. So again, the facts and figures really speak for themselves in terms of who we are as an organisation. And I think, the fact that we, invest so much, £1,700 in training per employee shows how committed we are to developing that workforce to ensure that we stay at the forefront of the technological changes that we know are happening. So if we move on to the next slide, it will just give you a sense of some of the roles that we're looking to recruit to. You're probably thinking, if you're not, focused on those STEM related subjects, that, what about other things? Well, we recruit across a kind of plethora of graduate roles, so including, project management, supply chain, finance, commercial, as well as the ones that you can see on the slide in front of you. And to give you kind of an idea, just in this year alone, about 400 graduates will join us, 250 undergraduates. So again, it demonstrates that as an organisation, we are committed to ensuring that we have skills for the future and are nurturing talent into the organisation. As an organisation, we continue to employ throughout COVID, when some organisations kind of suspended their graduate and undergraduate recruitment, we didn't want to be short-sighted. We wanted to ensure that we continued to bring that pipeline of talent into the organisation. And those are the kind of roles that we're offering this year and into next year that you'll really need to kind of look out for. To the right of the screen, you'll be able to see, please do connect with us, apply now, many roles and many undergraduate roles. So again, use those links that will be provided as part of this pack to connect with us and search us out to find some of the incredible stories that we will share in terms of our role models across BAE Systems. So if we can move to the final slide, what I just want to do perhaps is just to bring to life very quickly what it means to be a graduate, because our graduate programme is quite unique as a programme in that we kind of bring graduates in to undertake a role in a chosen business area. So our graduates are really adding value from day one. They're put into a role to make a contribution. We value your input, we value your thought leadership, and absolutely want that to happen. As we've said, learning and development is an integral part. We'll make sure you have an immersive 2-week experience so that when you start your role, you're absolutely ready to start it with all the IT in place, all the learning in place, all the awareness of the organisation. So we immerse you in that for 2 weeks before we ask you to go and start your role. We want you to network with lots of graduate opportunities, your professional development, and we really want to make that a really inclusive experience. So as a graduate joining or an undergraduate, you'll network with other graduates, we'll network with other people in the organisation, and we put a lot of investment in trying to make that happen. We just ask in terms of an application criteria, which I'm sure Nicola will go on to talk about in a little bit more detail, but that you need to sort of achieve at least a 2-2 bachelor's degree in a related subject or a 2-1 for our finance roles. So once you start to begin your search on the website, you'll be able to find out more, but that's kind of the level that we are looking for our graduates to enter the business at. The final thing, just in terms of rewards and benefits, our employee value proposition in terms of all the benefits that come with working for BAE, together with an attractive starting salary of £30,000 and a relocation bonus and welcome bonus of £2,000. So I hope that kind of demonstrates to you the fact that as an organisation, we're committed to recruiting graduates and undergraduates because we know you add value to the organisation, and we hope that as you start to look at what choices you want to make for your career, you'll certainly consider BAE Systems as one of them. So that's it from me, just as an overview. I'm going to hand over to Nicola now to tell you a little bit more about our recruitment process. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Lovely overview of BAE Systems there, and welcome everybody. Good afternoon. I'd like to talk to you about the recruitment process with regards to your application. Obviously, once you've viewed our website, the process and what you go through really. So our graduate recruitment opportunities are available throughout the whole of the UK. So we go as far as, if you look at the map on the right hand side, we recruit from Hill End and Glasgow all the way down to as far as Christchurch and over on the over in Cowes. So we have lots of vacancies all over the UK. All our vacancies are on our website, so very much dependent on your degree that you're studying. Please do look through the website. There's over 200 different vacancies that we are recruiting for, and for 2023 we're actually looking to recruit in excess of 800 graduates this year. We'll have several intake dates. We have already recruited and closed all our vacancies for January 2023 at the moment, but our roles are still active and live for May, June and September. And that not just for graduates, we are looking to recruit summer interns and undergraduates as well. So if you're thinking of taking a year out in industry and looking to come and get some work experience. So the graduate process that you'll be going through from your application stage, obviously once you've found the position that you would like to apply for, you will submit your application through our recruitment portal, which is called GTI. We will then obviously receive your application, and we will go through a screening process with that. Part of your application will include a gaming assessment where you if you're a good gamer, you'll do extremely well on it. So they're very much puzzle based, which everybody seems to enjoy them, and obviously there are levels to get through, so the levels will continue for you to go until obviously you can't make that level anymore, and there'll be a online video that you need to address as well. I think there's four or five questions on there. They are behavioural questions where we ask you for examples.
It seems like we may have lost Nicola there. Apologies for that. I think we'll just move on to the panel discussion. Hi everyone, my name's Christina Pearson-Rampiari. I'm a senior flight systems engineer at BAE Systems. I've been here for about 8 years now, various roles in the air sector, and as of next week I'm starting a new role as a principal engineer on the Dreadnought submarine programme. I'm here today to run a panel discussion with 3 of our graduates, Megan, Hannah and Caroline. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box, and I think we'll get going. So, Megan, Hannah and Caroline, please could I get an introduction to who you are, when you started at BAE Systems, and a description of your role now. Do you want to go first, Caroline?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. So I'm Caroline. I joined the business straight after my master's programme, so in 2016. So I've been in the business for 6 years now. And now I am a senior manufacturing engineer. I work for the manufacturing technology team. So my role is all about bringing new technology into the business.
Brilliant. Thank you, Caroline. Megan, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Megan Hankinson. Similar to Christina, I'm also a flight systems engineer. Started in the company in 2015, so similar to Caroline, been around for a few years now. So yeah, as a systems engineer, we work on designing and developing the mechanical and electrical systems that are involved, and like I say, are based at air, so I'm based in aircraft, and yeah, so different systems. So I've worked on propulsion, and I'm currently working on the flight control system.
Brilliant, thank you. And Hannah?
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. I also joined in 2015 but as an intern. I initially joined in the air sector, but I've actually moved over to our head office side now. I currently work as an environmental sustainability engineer, and a bit of my day-to-day is looking after the parts of the net zero programme, and I also help calculate our greenhouse gas emissions.
Thanks, Hannah. Really great to hear kind of varied roles there. So I'll start with kind of a first question. What were you looking for in a program when you were applying to BAE Systems? Anyone feel free to answer that.
So I guess I grew up locally to BAE Systems, so I was sort of inspired to be an engineer from seeing the aircraft flying around. That was my sort of goal. I saw that at primary school, and that was a drive. Really enjoyed maths, so it was just a suitable fit. But I just like the variety. So I think I saw a question come in about someone studying engineering and concern. So even though I'm in engineering now, I have done some time in procurement as well, and I just think there's so many opportunities that you don't feel plug cold into a sort of role, and I just like the different experiences. So that was sort of something that really was really inviting, really. So you could be based on aircraft, but there's nothing to say later on in your career you could move to submarines or AI, and like yourself, Christina, you're moving across. There's just so many different opportunities, and I think that's what was really appealing for me.
Yeah, definitely agree there. I think there's a lot of transferable skills in engineering, which are great for kind of other roles as well. Hannah, do you have anything about what you were looking for?
I was going to say mine was something similar as well. I grew up next to Wharton and Samlesbury, so in between them both, and yeah, I was just drawn to the different products that we have, and we're, as you say, we're very varied. But I've moved from aircraft manufacturing to aircraft maintenance. I've been into naval ships. I'm now in head office. So yeah, don't be afraid just to find something you like and then move on to something else if you fancy it afterwards. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to explore.
Thanks, Hannah. And yourself, Caroline?
I can give a little bit of a different perspective. So I didn't grow up local to a BAE site. I actually moved down to Barrow to work on the submarine programme. So I moved away from family, everything, to join up. I didn't know anybody before I moved down, so it was a whole new experience for me coming into the business. And I think one thing about like doing a graduate programme is like there's a whole network of people starting at the same time. So you can make a lot of friends really quickly, and it makes like a nice home base. As time proves, I'm now here permanently, but it was quite nice. And I was just looking for something that was a little bit different from the norm, and submarines sounded cool, so why not?
Yeah, definitely. It sounds cool to me because I'm about to start a job in that. So some great varied perspectives there. And then I'd just like to ask you, what happened after you finished your graduate role?
So I guess when I finished my graduate role, I sort of stayed in the role that I was in because I just found it enjoyable at the time. But I think then you sort of look across the business, and I think we've already said about the opportunities that are available and what you want to do. It was a really easy progression. I think, like Caroline alluded to, the network and the friends and the colleagues that you get when you join the graduate scheme, without even being in that job, you know, you've got all these people that can tell you what different places of the experiences that they've had across the business as well, so you can kind of get a feel for what's out there, what's available, what you might be really interested in, you know, and the products as well, what, you know, what excites you, what, you know, what's going to get you up and drive for the morning. So yeah, I think it was really easy transition. I didn't feel like one day I was on the grad scheme and the next day I wasn't. It was just quite smooth, really. I think the first day you start on the grad scheme, you're part of the team anyway. You know, it's not sort of a division.
Thanks, Megan. And Caroline?
Yeah, so when I finished my grad scheme, I actually got the opportunity to join a brand new team. It was a brand new thing, bringing into submarines, which was the technology team. I have stayed there for the 6 years that we've been here, so it's been quite nice. But it's an opportunity to develop yourself and your engineering skills through, you know, that transition. You don't really feel the move, like Megan's just said. It's just like more of a, you know, a slightly different responsibility that you have, and you get a lot of opportunities to progress very quickly in the business, I find. So it makes it much more fun when you get to do big projects as well. So yeah, quite a nice transition.
Thanks, Caroline. And Hannah?
Yeah, I think mine was sort of the same, but also slightly different as well. So, yeah, a lot of my friends from the grad scheme, they were sort of carrying on into roles that they were already doing sort of for the past 6 months. But then I looked at what experience I'd had during the sort of 2 years and what I wanted to go to next. So I'd very much worked on the sort of end of life cycle of products and programs. So I ended up switching to the requirements and acceptance team within naval ships. That was very much at the start of a program. So yeah, it was just enjoyable getting to know a completely different side and just having that ability to say, well, actually, you know, if I'm looking at engineering chartership, what other experiences do I want? So it was good to have that freedom and the opportunity to go somewhere that I felt like I needed more experience in. Although definitely a challenge though, picking up something new, but a good one.
Yeah, it's always good to have a good challenge. And then, so next question, so how would you describe to everyone on the call your typical day? We'll start with Megan.
So I guess I don't have a typical day. It would probably be easier if you did and you know what to expect, but that's what I like. I like the challenge, and I like every day to be different. You know, you don't know what's coming, but I guess, you know, there's a lot of interaction with, you know, suppliers. I speak a lot with design, test facilities. You know, I get my hands-on on the testing, which I really enjoy. You know, we're now working sort of a hybrid model as well, so sometimes I'm at home, sometimes I'm in the office, and yeah, it's just every day is varied, I guess. Difference between, you know, you can be sat in meetings someday, meeting heavy, but other days it's just getting stuck in and solving some problems.
Brilliant, thank you. I definitely agree with, I guess, with the similar roles, similar kind of day to day. Yourself, Caroline?
Yeah, I'm another one that I can't really tie down what a day-to-day looks like. Being in technology, like you can all imagine, sometimes it can be temperamental, sometimes it's absolutely great. So it does change from day to day. But normally, if I had to pick kind of a day, a lot of my morning is spent on the paperwork side, so emails and the general forms that you have to fill in, etc. But then in the afternoon, I always try to do something a bit more practical. So getting your overalls on, and whether that be in testing or working on new technologies or exploring technology and stuff that we could bring into the business, and an opportunity to attend a lot of conferences and stuff like that as well. So it is very varied, but in a good way, and lots of opportunity from that.
Brilliant, thanks, Caroline. And last but not least, Hannah?
Oh, I'm slightly jealous now that you get to do so many activities. Mine at the moment is a lot more sort of office based. I work from home sort of 3 days a week, come into the office a couple of days. But yeah, mine's, you know, no 2 days are the same. So sort of been traveling a lot this week, going to visit the rest of the team, which are out and about in London. I'll be back there next week. But yeah, sometimes it'll be working with external consultants. They're helping us do our greenhouse gas calculations, and then the next time it'll all be internal sort of strategy, how we're going to reach net zero. So definitely no 2 days are the same.
Brilliant, thanks, Hannah. So I guess I'll just open this up to all of you, jump in on this one. Is there anything that you think would surprise people about your role and the programme at BAE Systems?
I guess the variety of products and what we're involved in and different services was, is always a surprise to me. So I guess what you're working on, but I was, fascinated to hear, during the pandemic we were helping out with, things like that to support like the NHS with the PPE. Like I never thought that would be something we'd get involved in, and I think there's just so broad products. I don't think anyone could ever list all of them. It's it's just so vast. I think that's the biggest surprise for me, really, is the amount of things you can get involved in.
Yeah, I would agree with that one in terms of like things you can get involved in. But I think the biggest surprise with me is actually like about 30% of my job is not like on project work. It's doing external stuff and working with the community and various STEM activities and just kind of pushing out there into other things that we can do rather than just, our day-to-day job.
Thanks, Caroline. Yeah, we'll get to those kind of STEM initiatives in a minute. Anything else from yourself, Hannah?
No, I'll leave it there before I jump over to the next question as well.
Great. So yeah, something that I'm passionate about is I'm also a STEM ambassador and I do a lot of volunteering. So open it up to all you three graduates outside of your day-to-day role at BAE Systems. What projects or initiatives have you also kind of been involved with? Start with Caroline.
Yeah, so I don't know, I've done so many now that I can't even keep track. Last week we were doing the Road to Engineering event in Barrow, where we had about 300 school children come through and learn all about STEM subjects. At the weekend I was doing Over STEM, which is in the town I live in. But it's a STEM event that is open for the community. But I think my biggest kind of achievement through STEM was very much the design of the STEAM Club. So myself and another graduate designed a full programme for Key Stage 1 to 4. So it's a 5-week after school programme that we roll out around schools in the local area. And it has just got bigger and bigger since we launched it about 3-4 years ago. We had an option for homeschooling during COVID as well as part of that. So it meant parents could interact with the programme and it still kept the business working with the community despite us not being able to visit anybody. So I guess that was my kind of biggest one, and I'm still doing it now today and pushing it through and training new graduates and apprentices in the programme and allowing them to go out to the schools now and push it through even further. So
Brilliant. Thanks, Caroline. Hannah?
Yeah, great. This sounds fascinating. I'm going to join that. So when I was on the graduate scheme, actually, so I was actually in aircraft maintenance at the time, and I was lucky enough to be able to start the sustainability working group. And I think that's something that I never really thought would happen before. It was completely separate to aircraft maintenance. Of course, there's a lot of sort of skills that I picked up. I was coordinating a group of about 20 graduates at the time, and that leadership skills come in handy for any job role. But I think initially, if you decide, go onto the aircraft maintenance grad scheme and then end up doing a side project on sustainability, you wouldn't have thought that that's possible. But I was fully supported by my managers and the people that sponsored the group, and yeah, it's going really well. And I'm pleased that the company continues to support sort of early careers in the sort of side projects, if you want to call them.
Brilliant. Thanks, Hannah. And Megan?
Yeah, I'm a STEM ambassador as well, so I do a lot to try and break the stereotype of what an engineer looks like. I don't sit here in a hard hat and overalls every day. But yeah, so I'm actually a girl guiding leader. I volunteer as that. So, we do a lot of STEM activities there. BAE Systems teamed up with Girl Guiding and have developed some badges. So that's been really good. Also been doing some engineering, what's called engineering fairy tales with primary school group, which I think is a brilliant initiative just to get the young generation thinking differently, and opening up their eyes to what they can achieve.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it's great to be able to, like they say, do that outside of your day role as well. It just gives you that extra stuff to get involved with.
Thanks, Megan. And I love that kind of smashing the stereotype of what an engineer looks like. So I guess one of the things that I'm involved with is that the company has various employee resource groups. So I'm on the steering group for the Gender Equity Network, and the company's been really supportive with that, and that's part of my time in my role. So what support has the company given you to be involved with the projects that you've been in? I guess we'll start with Megan.
Yeah, they're very supportive with resources, training, how to best engage, with children. They team up with teachers, get teachers on board, getting lesson plans, or like this fairy tale thing. It's like something that they do all the time is like read a story or something like that. So how can you change that where it's not just, the standard one? I think at the minute we've got Rapunzel, and how can we help Rapunzel get out the tower that's not just along, which I just think is a really clever idea. And the company are just so supportive with the time, and everything like that. It's a balance. They want to help, get this message out as well. So they couldn't give you enough support, really.
Great, thank you. And Hannah?
Yeah, so I think way back when I first joined, I was interested in aircraft maintenance, but I've got a sustainable engineering degree as a background. And then so I started like Googling internally what we were doing about sustainability. And since then, I sort of made contacts through the working group that I started and hosting sustainability forums. And I was actually approached for a secondment into the head office team, and now I've made it my full-time role. And I've been fortunate enough that they've now put me onto a sustainability master's course. So I now have Fridays where I do my sustainability masters, and then the other 4 days I work on my day-to-day job. So yeah, I'm really, really proud that the company's sort of gone from let's start a group on sustainability, and actually let's put you on a sustainability master's course as well. So yeah, I'm really thankful that the company's given me that. So yeah, I'd say the support is great.
Thanks, Hannah, that's really impressive. Caroline?
Yeah, I don't have much more to add, to be honest. I mean, the company will give you time for anything that you want to do, and they're really supportive of you getting, personal enjoyment out of a role, as well as, delivering what you need to for your job. But I think the biggest thing is, that the company almost encourage anything that's extra to your day to day, and they really push you to just develop yourself as a person as well. So I think that's really important to keep people enjoyment and, just generally want to come to work and love their role.
Great, thanks everyone. This might be a bit of a hard question, because I know in my time I've got a lot of great moments that I've loved in my career. If you could pick one wow moment from your time here at BAE Systems, what would it be?
I can go first if you want. So yeah, I think my biggest wow moment is I went to a school that's in quite an underprivileged area, local to our yard, and there was one particular child who just didn't think he could achieve anything. He was quite young at the time and just had given up essentially on school and learning. And we were doing the after school club with him, and he just decided that I don't want to participate, I can't do this. So we really tried to encourage and push him, and we were actually doing that challenge where you build a paper seat from newspaper, and you've got to try and sit on it and not fall over. And he went on to build a full chair that could hold a weight. He actually turned it into a toilet, and he had a functioning lid and flusher on it, all made out of paper. So it just kind of showed to me that no matter what you think, you can achieve a lot, and that kids will eventually push themselves if they get the right encouragement. And I think that was just one of my moments, like, oh gosh, we really need, to help the community and work with these students who don't think they can do anything and push them through. So that was a bit of a, oh, that's nice. So yeah.
Thanks, Caroline. That's brilliant. Just conscious of time, so I'll just move to my last question before we open up to everyone on the call. So just feel free to drop in any questions that might come up during this time. So all three of you, what advice would you give to those who are looking to join the graduate programme? Start with Megan.
I'd say just, look at the website, do your research, see what you're most interested in. But like I say, even when you apply, there's endless opportunities. It doesn't mean you're going to be stuck in that role for 40 years or however long your career is. So yeah, if it sounds like it's something you're interested in, do your research and go for it and be yourself.
Thank you. Hannah?
Yeah, I think it's sort of second that as well, and just say like don't be afraid of the criteria that'll be listed. You know, if it says aircraft or naval ships, don't think, oh well, I don't have any experience in aircraft or ships at all, I'm not going to apply, because there's a lot of transferable skills in engineering that, and just think about those and how you would be able to apply yourself in that situation, because I'd never done anything like that before, but you find your feet quite quickly, and engineering at uni really sets you up well. So yeah, don't worry about the criteria being spot on.
Thanks, Hannah. And Caroline?
Yeah, mine is just go for it and just push the boundaries with what you can do with your graduate scheme. They're well worth doing, and it just sets you up really well for your career in the future and gives you that nice lead into work to find out, you know, who you are and what you're going to do after university. You know, sometimes you're not so sure, so it's just kind of a nice lead in and gives you all the skills that you need for going forward.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. So that's the end of my questions. It's been great to hear from you three inspirational women. We've got Nicola back on now, so I think we'll just move back into the tips for you all.
Oh, thank you, Christina. Apologies, I'm not quite sure what happened. So I'll talk very fast just in case my internet goes again. I think we got onto online assessments. So obviously, once we've received your application, we will then move through processing your application. We will give you feedback irrespective of whether you have been successful or unsuccessful once we've processed your application. If you are successful, we will take you through to the live interview stages, which will be a meeting with the hiring manager and somebody who would scribe. So it'll be on you'll have two people interviewing you. We hope to get a decision within roughly 2 weeks of your interview. And again, we will let you know whether you've been successful or unsuccessful. We will give you that feedback. If you have been successful, obviously we'll move to make you an offer and you'll receive a telephone call from us. You'll then go through all our screening process, which is to do with security, medical checks and occupational health. The offer will also be preliminary until you've completed all those checks and passed our security process. We will engage with you from the moment we make the offer to the day that you are due to start. We'll keep you updated on your progress and where you are in that current stage. So hints and tips, I think I'm just echoing everything that Hannah, Caroline, Christina, Megan have said here. Do your background check, work on BAE Systems, go to our website, look at the degree that you're doing, the roles that are available to you. Everything that you need is on there. You need to ensure when you do apply, and we do get an awful lot of applications that come through to us where you've applied but your degree doesn't fit the role that you want to apply for. So please do check on the application, on your application, the role will state what degree is required for that, and we do look for a minimum of a 2-2 in your chosen subject. Okay, so do make sure your degree does suit the role that you've applied for. But that said, obviously once you've completed, if you are successful and you complete a graduate programme with us, the opportunities are endless for you within BAE Systems. Okay. Spoke earlier about important dates. 2023, we're looking to conclude all our interviews. So all our vacancies, obviously we have already interviewed and offered and concluded for January 2023 at the moment, but we are looking to try and get all our interviews done and offers made by the 31st of January for our May, June and September intakes. It may roll into January, but that is our aim at the moment. Our May, June and September roles are still available and will remain open until we do fill them. We are currently interviewing at the moment and aim to have those interviews concluded by December. Once you have been offered, and if you are successful, you will get a notification of firm with conditions given. Like I've just explained in the previous slide, you'll get your contract and everything sent out to you, which will be preliminary pending all your security and occupational health checks. And those are our start dates: 30th of January, 15th of May, 4th of September for our graduates, 26th of June for our summer interns and undergraduates or IPs. So next steps, obviously be sure to submit your application, sooner the better, obviously because we do need to get you through our security process for everybody for 2023, but we do look but we do look forward to welcoming you, sifting through your applications and getting back to you and taking you through those stages I've just been talking about. Thank you. So I'll again, please visit our website www.baesystems.com, where all our vacancies are online. Thank you. And I'll pass back to Christina.
Thanks, Nicola. Yeah, thank you. So we'll move into the Q&A part of the session now. Again, any more questions, anything that comes up, just drop it into the chat box. We'll kick off with the first question, open to the floor. Can international students apply?
I think that's directed at me. Yes, you can, and we welcome you. So yes, please do get your application in. Thank you.
Thank you. And this may be at yourself again, Nicola. If we have applied to a graduate role, are we allowed to apply to an apprenticeship as well?
You can do. Obviously, our graduate and our apprenticeship roles are separate, but you can. In an ideal world, we'll only accept one of your applications. So please do make sure when you are applying, it is the role that you really want to apply for. Obviously, the more applications you put in, they will be dismissed, and only one will probably go through.
Thank you. This one, I suppose this will be for not just Nicola, but everyone's experiences. Is there a social aspect? Worried if I relocate, I won't know anyone close. Caroline, you might be good for this because you relocated.
Yeah, certainly in Barrow there was a massive social group. There was about 25 graduates that started all at the same time with me, and we used to have night outs at least once a week. We would do various stuff in work together as well. So yeah, there was nothing wrong. I shouldn't have been worried about relocating in the first place. It was a whole group of us, and it was a very nice place to come to. So yeah.
Thanks,
be scared.
Caroline.
I
Thank
completely
you.
agree as well, and it doesn't end at the end of the grad scheme.
No,
Carries
it
on.
doesn't.
Yeah. Could I just add as well that obviously we do recognise, and certainly in COVID, trying to create those networking opportunities online, a lot of time was invested in trying to get people connecting online, but so much now that actually said there are, social committees, a graduate community that very much drive some of that aspect. And I think, we do through things like collaboration days where we bring graduates from all over the UK together for 2 days. So again, graduates from all over the UK will get together, and certainly some of the things that the graduates have been sharing with you, those opportunities to work on what we call stretch assignments, which are those additionality that help to develop you as a person, as well as you giving something back. Again, you have the opportunity to meet with other graduates who might get involved in a project similar to you. So it's an absolutely integral part of the programme to make sure that we create those opportunities for graduates to get to know each other. And we want you to stay, we want you to feel that where you've relocated to actually is a place that you want to kind of live and build a home. So absolutely we will do what we can to help with that as well.
Thanks
you.
Caroline, Megan and Helen. Move on to the next question. How do you find the working environment at BAE, and what support is there for working parents of young children?
I find it very flexible. So we have flexible working hours. So for us, I don't know if this is the same across the business, but where I work, it's there used to be sort of core time 10 till 3, but during the pandemic, the company were very supportive to understand that there was a lot of other commitments and a lot more juggling that had to be done. So it's just opened up the flexibility of when you can work. So, if you need to finish early to pick up from school, or work early in the morning and then take half an hour to go drop them off, or, it's how it works at home as well. It's that balance. And I just find that they're very supportive of that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think just on the back of what Megan has said there, each business unit, depending on where you're working, the majority of the contracts, you're contracted to 37 hours. So as long as you get your 37 hours in within that week, like you say, Megan, if you come in early, you can finish early, take a half hour here if you need to pop out, whichever. Just speak with your line manager and, you know, make sure they're okay with it. They know what you're doing in advance, and they are, like I say, everybody is very, very supportive of each other, and we support and we cover for each other as well.
Yeah, I think what I'll add to that is when I came back after maternity leave, I came back part-time. So I chose to do kind of have Fridays off, and they kind of reworked my working pattern around that. So they were really supportive of and I've been part-time ever since. Only will return full-time next week now that my young boy is in school. So next question, what made each of you choose your specialisms, and how did you go about moving opportunities around the business?
I'll jump in there if that's.
Thanks, Hannah.
So I think I originally chose aircraft manufacturing and then went to aircraft maintenance. I was just sort of testing a couple of them. I loved both, but I did sustainable engineering at uni. So essentially I sort of found out what we were doing sustainability wise, made those connections, made those contacts, and then was sort of like a two-way thing when someone approached me and I approached them and said, yeah, a role would be perfect. So I ended up doing a year-long secondment into the environment and sustainability team, and now I've stayed for 2 years now. But I think it's all about finding your network, building up your network, and just finding those things that you really enjoy, and don't be afraid if that changes. I went to test aircraft maintenance and actually thought I still love sustainability, so here I am. But you never know, I might go back, might stay. So yeah, it's just a lot of opportunities.
Thanks, Hannah. Anyone else got anything to add?
Yeah, I think the company and, you know, the team that you end up in are all very supportive. I've always been fortunate to be in quite supportive teams where, you know, if you discuss with your line manager or colleagues of what you're interested in, you know, they might have been there a lot longer than you and say, oh, you need to speak to such a body, and they'll help you build those connections, and you know that helps you then find where you want to go. It's just as a graduate as well. I think I mentioned earlier, you hear about what's going on across the business by the social aspect you have with fellow graduates and what they're getting up to as well. So it's all about that communication and talking with people, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I found that everyone was quite open, kind of senior people in leadership were quite open to just popping an hour in their diary and having a chat. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Caroline, have you got anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, not so much, but yeah, just you know, push it and you'll get what you want from it. And yeah, network is the biggest thing, I would say, building up. But like Megan says, you get that through your graduate network anyway, so you can build those relationships.
Brilliant, thank you. So we've got one question here. I worry that being a female, I'll be working in a male-dominated place. How did you overcome that in engineering? Who wants to take that first?
I can go first if you want on that one. It's a tough one to answer. It is very male heavy. I mean, I work with all men. I'm the only female on my team, but it doesn't bother me. I sometimes feel you get more opportunities being a female within the business. So yeah, don't be afraid of it. And I found that the men are just as encouraging, you know, through the women as well, and they'll push you to be better and better as an engineer. So I don't find it an issue despite you know, not working with females.
I've actually got quite, well, I say balanced, but it's quite better than just one out of a group of men. I work in a team of about 40 of us, and there's 5 women and about 35 men. So I'd say that's quite better than what it used to be. And you know, we're seeing more and more women in engineering. So you know, for me, it's only going to get better. The balance.
Thanks, Megan. Hannah?
Could I just
Yeah,
add
Helen?
that? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, go on, Hannah.
No,
Oh,
go
I was just
Helen.
going to say that, if that's okay. I was just going to say that obviously as an organisation, we are absolutely committed committed to being a more diverse organisation, and we are trying very much to attract females into, you know, whether they're, you know, engineering roles, STEM related, craft roles in apprenticeships, etc. So we are running a lot of programs, insight events, you know, targeting females to come and work for us, because we absolutely want to ensure that we do get that diverse and balance. So if you are female and you're interested in engineering and on this call, please do apply. help us really create a female community. Yeah.
Definitely, and I guess this is part of the work that I do as part of the employee resource group as well, the Gender Equity Network, to try and make things better and improve things for everyone in the company. Hannah, did you have anything to add? Sorry.
Oh no, not loads more. I was just going to say that there's I currently work in a team that's very actually female dominated, so winning there. But, no, so I actually have a lady who I call my work mum. If I need to, then I go to her with all my work mum needs. But I've never really found it sort of an issue. I've worked in teams that have been male dominated, but it's always been a friendly atmosphere. There's always someone that you can go to. We've got a massive organisation. There'll be someone there for you, even if your immediate team is all male. And I've never felt uncomfortable in any of the male dominated teams that I've worked in. So yeah, hopefully don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I agree. I've found that my line manager's been really supportive throughout my career. I've actually started working at the company, started working for him, moved into another team, and then ended up moving back into a team that he was leading. So he's been my line manager for most of my career, and he's been a real ally. So on to the next question that we've had. What top tip would you give to be successful in the graduate program? Start with Megan.
I just think be open to opportunities. So if I guess you could take that two ways, I guess, as how to get on the program or how you be on the program. I guess when you're on the program, you know, take every opportunity that's given to you. Even if it's a bad experience, you'll go, okay, I won't do that again. So, you know, just be open, I guess. And I guess when you're applying, be yourself, you know, that's the key thing really, and have a think about what you want to do and opportunities and what inspires you really.
Love that. Yeah, Megan, totally agree. You don't know what you like until you try it. So agree. Hannah?
Yeah, I think mine's just about really, I feel like you get what you put in. So if you are working hard and you do find something that you love, then you know it's recognised. And there's a lot of support for graduates and early careers. There's loads of different events, or as Megan said, loads of opportunities out there. And I think people are willing you to do well. Everyone wants you to do well, and it's kind of hard to, you know, if you're trying hard and you're doing your best, then it's hard not to do well here. That's what it feels like for me anyway in BAE. It feels just very positive, and there's always people willing you to do well. So yeah, if you work hard, then you'll be rewarded.
Thanks, Hannah. Caroline?
Yeah, I think my biggest one is don't be afraid to ask questions. Nobody will think the questions are silly. I feel like we have a very open environment to ask even the daftest of questions, and it just allows you to learn a lot more effectively and take that knowledge from everybody around you who's been in the business a long time, and then you can use it later on. So yeah, ask a lot.
Thanks, Caroline. I totally agree. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Helen, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, if that's okay. I think as well, just we're not looking for the finished article. You know, people will be finishing their sort of, you know, university degrees still as an undergraduate, looking for their first step into the world of work, and we're not expecting you to be the top engineer in the country or the best project manager there ever was. What we're saying is that come along because 10 days of dedicated support and development, coaching, one-to-one coaching, helping you to develop your core skills, stretch assignments to help you to find out what you like, opportunity to work with different people on different projects. So I think it just says don't worry about having to have all the answers and being the finished article, because actually we're looking for people to bring something to work and to learn, and that's why we invest in your development. So that's all I'd want to add, if that's okay.
No, brilliant. Thank you, Helen. I think that's sometimes a bit of a pressure that we put on ourselves, that we need to be the perfect person, but actually we're developing ourselves as part of the program and as part of learning every day.
Yeah, and you get all the training as well to do the role, I guess, because you can join, you know, a graduate scheme with a vast, you know, a maths degree or a mechanical degree or an aero degree. You know, everyone's had a different background of what they've done at university, and all the training's provided as you start, you know. And I think a lot of the interview is around how you are as a person and how you know, deal with things and what you've done so far. So, like Helen says, don't be put off.
Thanks, everyone. Some great advice there. Just so, got time for one more question. How long does the graduate programme run for?
Do you want me to pick that one up? So
Thanks,
our
Helen.
graduate programme actually has a variable end date. So we typically, the graduate programme runs for 18 months, but it can run up to 30 months. So again, that's why we don't put pressure on people, because everybody will develop through the programme at different stages. Everybody will have different experiences of what you know, they've had access to in terms of work experience. They may need to do, you know, want to on their graduate programme go and explore some other things before they take that first step into the world of work. So our graduate programme is now flexible in that graduates leave and own their own kind of end date with their line manager and their function. So, you know, you will be having career conversations through the coaching as to, do I feel ready to take that step, or do I actually want to stay on the programme and develop my skills and knowledge even further? So I think that's why we've made it flexible. I have to be honest, the majority do step off at 18 months because very keen to get going and into the business, but equally we have graduates who choose to stay with us longer just so they can continue to develop. So 18 to 30 months is the programme, and that's very much guided by you and your line manager and the career conversations that you have to determine what's the best step off point for you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. That's been really great. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have questions for. So I will pass over for the wrap up of the session.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much to all the speakers from BAE Systems, and thank you all for attending and watching. I hope you really benefited from the experience. I'm sure you did. Just so you're aware, the recording of this will be sent out after it's finished, so you will receive it. You can watch it again if you like. And yeah, we hope to see you all again soon. So thank you again. Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yes, good
Bye.
luck. Bye.
Bye.